Hey everybody, it is Matty here with Altcoin Buzz with you on this Thursday, and today we're talking about all kinds of altcoin updates. We're coming at you from a number of different tweets and Medium blog articles. We'll let you know what @Shashwat has to say. That's email Shashwat, I should say. Harmony also has an update that we'll cover in relation to their One Tree Planted campaign in association with Safe Haven. Speaking of which, we're going to be discussing the SHIP, the Safe Haven Inheritance Program, and let you know how that works. Komodo here on Twitter, Chainzilla on Twitter. Forbes is giving us a complete beginner's guide to atomic swaps, letting us know how atomic swaps work and what the advantages of those are. We're also discussing Electroneum here and Scott Stornetta. So all that and more, but let's begin today as usual with a snapshot of the market. Things are down a little bit since yesterday, down 0.19%, but up since the time overall of our last video. Total market cap at $265.8 billion. Bitcoin sitting at $10,596, down a little bit, as are some other projects, down 1 or 2 percentage points. But Bitcoin dominance up over 70% for the first time that I've noticed in a while on CoinGecko, at 70.7% dominance. If you're at all getting weary of the volatility in the crypto space, a little friendly reminder from Shash here, who's sharing his wisdom. Crypto investing is a test of your ability to differentiate value from price. One day it's going to be Shash that's quoted and not so much the Warren Buffetts of the world, but Warren Buffett said something similar. He said basically investing in the stock market is all about the transfer of wealth from the impatient to those who remain patient, or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but very similar knowledge here that is being shared. Moving on, we have Harmony on Twitter, @Harmony Protocol. We appeal to Harmony One community to contribute to an initiative organized by our friends at Safe Haven IO in One Tree Planted to revitalize areas within South America from fires, logging, and cattle ranchers. For every dollar donated, one tree will be planted. So kudos to Harmony Protocol and to Safe Haven for this initiative. You can read about it more here on medium.com. One Tree Planted and Safe Haven announced raise for the Amazon on ThorBlock, a decentralized platform developed by blockchain and fintech company Safe Haven. And it seems to be a pretty noble endeavor. I'm sure you've heard right now about all the fires that are raging in the Amazon. It's a little bit sensationalized, in my opinion, because what the headlines aren't telling you is that these fires occur every year, and 2019 is hardly the zenith in terms of intensity and spread of the fires. But nevertheless, it is a problem, and it's something that shouldn't be done every year, or at least it should be curbed as much as possible. You can read about some of the statistics here as far as what the Amazon does for the planet as an ecosystem, the importance of those trees and forests that are burning. And on the whole, I would say, I don't want to sound curmudgeonly here. This is a good initiative and something that is positive. So One Tree Planted will ensure all charitable funds collected will contribute to the preservation of our planet for our generation and those to come. So here are some of the funding requirements if you're interested in participating. The minimum contribution is 100 VET. Here is the ThorBlock address. Here's the Ethereum and Bitcoin address. All raised Bitcoin and Ethereum will be transferred to VET and sent to the ThorBlock pool. One Tree Planted will confirm received funds and provide Safe Haven the, quote, tree certificate. And again, $1 equals one tree that's going to be saved. This pool is currently open and it's going to close on October 31st, 2019. So you have about 8 weeks or so if you'd like to participate. While we're on the subject of Safe Haven, here's another recent post about how the SHIP works. That's the Safe Haven Inheritance Program. We'll go over the Coles notes here in a nutshell. This comes to us by way of Safe Haven's CEO, Logino Dujardin, and he clarified how it's all going to happen. Number one, you encrypt your private keys, seeds, passphrases in our platform into different shares. Number two, choose the people who should receive shares when something happens to you. Number three, work with or without a legal entity when you decide. Number four, distribute the shares between your stakeholders, family members, etc. Store one share on the VeChain Chain Thor blockchain as the validation share. Live your life and have full control of your assets while you do. And number 7, of course, rest and hopefully die in peace. Number 8, get all stakeholders together and collect the shares. Number 9, legal entity needs to confirm you passed away. She will unlock the share from the blockchain. And number 10, combine all of the shares and retrieve the private key, seize, and pass phrases. Number 11, people will have access to your wallet, social media account, legal papers, corporate papers, etc. you have encrypted during that time of the event. Personally, I think we're not quite there just yet. We're moving in the right direction, and it's encouraging to see that this problem is being addressed, but it's still a little bit too complicated in my opinion. I think during the bereavement process, as the family is making arrangements and dividing up the will and inheritance and whatnot, to me, this is sort of the last thing that anybody would want to be dealing with the current level of complexity. But nonetheless, kudos to Safe Haven. I think they are moving in the right direction because this is something that absolutely has to be dealt with. It's going to be increasingly a big problem in the future as we move ahead. Further updates here on Twitter include Komodo at Komodo platform. Quote, Komodo, an atomic swap early adopter, launched the first atomic swap across Ethereum. Today, Komodo has facilitated atomic swaps across 95% of all cryptocurrencies. And this is linking to that Forbes article that I mentioned earlier. We're going to get to there in just a second, but also on Twitter here, Chainzilla at Chainzilla. Get your project listed on at Komodo platforms, AtomicDex on iOS and Android. The beta testing period is almost over, and we're excited to start the onboarding process. Are you interested in listing your coin? Contact us today. If that applies to you, then make sure you reach out to at Chainzilla.io on Twitter. Let's go back to that Forbes article. Now, we're not going to be able to go through the entire thing, but it's a complete beginner's guide to atomic swaps. And this was released just the other day on the 2nd of September. If you've never heard about the term, an atomic swap was first introduced by Tier Nolan on the Bitcoin talk forums back in 2013. Nolan outlined the basic principles for cross-chain cryptocurrency swaps by using simple cryptocurrency trade across different types of blockchain. Then fast forward to 2017, atomic swaps captured the attention of the cryptocurrency community at large when Litecoin founder Charlie Lee announced the successful execution of an atomic swap between Litecoin and Bitcoin over Twitter. Here's a quick guide as to how atomic swaps actually work, and perhaps more importantly, or more significantly, I should say, why are atomic swaps important? Well, it has a lot to do with centralization. So atomic swaps presents truly decentralized technology. Atomic swaps are truly decentralized, allowing cryptocurrency traders to exchange digital assets without the need for third-party arbitration with no counterparty risk. Atomic swaps also mitigate investor risk, and they leave cryptocurrency holders in complete control of their cryptocurrency at all times, eliminating the hacking risk presented by centralized exchanges. And they also reduce trading fees. The only fees associated with atomic swaps are standard blockchain transaction fees, making atomic swaps a fee-free trading method. Read more here about the potential downsides associated with atomic swaps, as well as new developments happening in the space. But in conclusion, contrary to opinion, the way that cryptocurrencies are traded are usually thought to be decentralized, but in most cases, they are not. As the technology driving decentralized exchanges evolves, cryptocurrency users will have access to a truly decentralized means of trading crypto through atomic swaps, whilst being able to retain control over their digital assets at all times. I gotta say, guys, whether or not you care about atomic swaps, it's very interesting to me that Forbes is covering subject matter at this level of complexity. It used to be the beginner's guide to cryptocurrency, the beginner's guide to how blockchain works, who is Satoshi Nakamoto, that type of 101 stuff, but a beginner's guide to atomic swaps on Forbes.com. Hey, that's got to have some degree of significance. So I like to see that. That's very encouraging. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Finally, today we have some news courtesy of at Dr. Shepard. Scott Stornetta approves of Electroneum and their long-term vision. He says, quote, Bitcoin was a brilliant piece of work, but it was sort of a solution looking for a problem. Scott believes that ETN has intrinsic value and its ecosystem solves a real problem. So the so-called founding father of blockchain, Scott Stornetta, talks Bitcoin and Electroneum, comparing the two. The globally renowned scientist said he, quote, has spent longer thinking about blockchain than anyone else on the planet. I have a really long-term perspective on this technology. Stornetta recently met with the Electroneum CEO Richard Ells, and during their conversation told him, quote, I understand what you're doing with the moderated blockchain and your unique proof of responsibility protocol. Quote, I'm happy to recognize that you have grasped the breadth of the design space. Also, that you are flexible enough and open-minded enough to be still exploring how to get the balance of the mix. And that's something that I'm able to encourage wholeheartedly. What exactly appeals to Stornetta about Electroneum? Well, Dr. Stornetta explained what to him is so appealing about the project. Quote, I admire in particular companies that have a long-term goal that is more than profit maximizing, but that is a collective better. So Dr. Stornetta had a whole lot to say, and he's quoted very, very extensively in this article. It's going to take me another 10 minutes just to read through some of these quotes, but you can read about the comparisons between Electroneum and Bitcoin that he made, why he likes Electroneum, why it's important from the perspective of network security, and a couple of different angles that he brings up, including the subject of permissioned versus permissionless networks. So check out this article in full, especially for all those Electroneum fans out there in the altcoin buzz army. And as always, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But that about rounds it out for today, everybody. Do be sure you are following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications if you enjoyed today's video. Only the very best of luck if you choose to invest on this Thursday. And hey, we hope to see you again soon in our next piece. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.